So welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. I'm out here at the clearing. Had a pretty busy day so far. We had all the trusses delivered for the new building, so that's good. And now I'm hauling some more firewood poles back to the Woodyard. I could grab 3 or 4 of these at a time, but I'm trying not to smash up the new dump truck, so just kind of taking it easy. I took the tailgate off. Levi and I did that a little bit ago. Yesterday I hauled a load in and I had the tailgate on and just kind of laying down, and it was fine, but I just think it's better to take it off, which is what I did. But these are mostly maple, cherry, a little bit of oak here, but you can fit a lot in here. I had to cut them down. Some of them, you know, are like 30 feet long or even longer, and they would have needed cut down for the processor anyway. So I cut them like 12 or 13 feet. Some are 14 feet. The body on that dump truck is 11 feet. Most of the ones that you see, well, at least most of the ones that I see, have the 9-foot beds on them. I'm not sure why. I don't know. I'm glad I got the 11-foot one, because this hauls 1 cord of firewood very easily with 2 sideboards on it. They probably get the shorter ones because of the tighter turning radius, and I mentioned the turning radius on this truck at least once a video. It's so tight, it's unbelievable, which is why if you're getting like a 550 or a 600, I would highly recommend the longer wheelbase, because it has such a tight turning radius anyway. It doesn't even matter. Like, I talked to Adam down at Schultz Ford, and you know, he said a lot of guys buy the shorter ones for plowing snow. I would, you could plow with this truck, no trouble at all. I wouldn't, but you could. Just hard on a truck. Not so much the plowing. I mean, that's not great either. It's you're out there running through them salty parking lots. It's crazy. I'll see people buy a truck like this right here, put a brand new salt spreader right in the back. It's just, that's hard on a truck. I plowed for years. I did a Lowe's store and actually used a skid loader. I think I was the first one in this area, in a big area, that ran a Blizzard snowplow when they first came out. Had the hydraulic retractable wings on it. Worked really well, but I eventually evolved into just a pusher box, like a 10 or 12 foot pusher box. And I did a Lowe's store, and it was one of those things when I was younger, I thought I was making money, and I mean I did, but just crazy amount of hours, hard on the equipment, and just wasn't, I don't think it was worth it. I don't. But you live and learn and figure things out over time, which is what I did, and I had enough of the snow plowing. I know there's some companies make a lot of money. Usually it's the ones that use a bunch of subcontractors and they don't pay them much, and you know, they make all the money. But the Lowe's store that I did right across the road was a Home Depot. It's a funny story. And the guys that plowed the Home Depot, they were like a landscaping company, and they had a lot of contracts, and I just had the one. It was by myself. I did it all. And I always made it a point to have my parking lot clean and melted off before the Home Depot. Just a little bit of a competitive spirit, but I always made sure I was done first. And it was pretty easy to do because, like I said, they had a bunch of other customers. Well, I'd be about halfway done with the parking lot, and them guys would come ripping in there. They had a bunch of old trucks and stuff, and they'd come ripping in there. You know, this is in the middle of the night, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And the one truck, he had a yellow light on it. And there's nobody around in the middle of the light, but he'd keep that thing, it's one of those beacons, rotating beacon. He'd keep that thing on the whole time, you know, and he's plowing and plowing. And one night I look over there and I see his flashing yellow light, and all of a sudden I see the light go over the bank. You know, it's dark out. And I knew there was a pretty steep bank there, and I thought he ran over the hill. I did. I'm like, oh boy, he's in trouble. And I thought I better go over and, you know, see if he's all right or if he needs help or whatever. Well, I go over there and the truck was fine. It was still sitting up in the parking lot. Here, what had happened, he hit a curb with his plow and it ripped the plow off the truck. I mean, it just busted the frame. And that yellow light, he had this real long, real long cord on it, and it was plugged into his truck, like through the window. And he hit that curb so hard, the light flew off of it, bounced off the hood, and went over the bank, and it was still flashing. It was one of those cords that, you know, like stretch or whatever. But yeah, that was a bad night for them. But that's what happens when you get in a hurry. I don't know if I mentioned, I took the tailgate off of this one because, oh, I did talk about that. I had it on there. I just don't want to smash up the new truck. I can't really see what's on the other side, but I'm thinking I'm about full, don't you think? I can't see the other side. Oh yeah. Load of wood. Come down here and check it out. Yeah, I think that's good. What do you think? Yeah, I could have fit a couple on this side, but that's a pretty good load right there. Maple, 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 cherry, white oak, cherry. Yeah, it's a nice mix. This is a white oak right here. That's been down for a while. This tree was dead when I took it down. But yeah, let's take this over to the processor. I got another load laying there right in front of it. Then I think I'll come back and get a third load. And then I need to start running some through the processor because I got logs laying everywhere down there now. There was way more wood out in that pile than what I thought. There's probably at least 2 more loads out there. I think what I'll do, I'll get one more and leave it on the truck for a little bit till I make some room, and then I'll bring the excavator over and run some of this through the processor. I got to run out for a little bit, but I'm trying to get as much in as I can right now before the rains come back. That's the way to do that. I don't have to worry about the tailgate. All right, we're gonna take a little break from the wood cutting and we're gonna run over to the neighbor's place where they're building a new house. That's the lot that I did all the clearing for and built the driveway, but I think they're pouring the footers right now. And I wanted to get a look at that. And I especially want to see how they form up the walls for the foundation. So they're doing the footers today. And then, you know, it's going to be a poured foundation. And that seems to be the way everybody goes now. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with a block foundation. Everyone did it that way for years and years. But it sounds like poured walls are better. Oh yeah, they got a big pumper truck down there. That's pretty cool. Yeah, they got Thrower Concrete. That's who delivers all of our concrete. Well, that guy did a nice job that did the excavating here. Looks great. Footers look good as well. So you can see the way this is dug and the footers. That's the garage there. The walkout basement on that side there. Yeah. Doesn't seem like they have the same shale right over here as we have over at our place. I'll make sure to run over there whenever they form and pour the foundation walls. I want to see exactly how they do that. Alright, so I just cut up another load here. More cherry and maple. This is nice stuff. A lot of this, if I would have separated it out, like the cherry, could have been burnt this year. But this is all going into next year's firewood. I was wondering, has anyone been following the World Series? I don't really watch any sports on TV, really. But I'm just starting to watch the World Series. I used to play baseball. I love baseball. I do, but like regular season games, I would never like sit and watch a regular season game. And I don't go to games. Well, we got the Pirates here. They're bad. They just never reinvest any money into the team, and they're just bad. They are. And the way I see it, when you go to those games, you're just kind of enabling that behavior. So I don't go to Pirate games, and I don't watch them on TV. They've got that one pitcher that's really good. I'm actually looking forward to when he gets traded, just to put him on a team that he deserves to be on, you know. But anyway, the World Series last night, today's Tuesday. You're going to see this video on Saturday, I think. But it went into 18 innings. And there is just something about World Series baseball that I can watch. Even a little bit of playoff baseball. But World Series, I would love to go to a World Series game at some point. I know it won't be with Pittsburgh in it, but just something about it. But yeah, the Dodgers right now are up 2-1. And last night, that Ohtani, he went like 4 for 4, couple home runs, and the game went 18 innings. So they walked him, intentionally walked him 4 times after that. So he was on base 8 times last night. And the whole intentional walk thing, probably the smart thing to do with a guy like that. But it's a bit embarrassing if you ask me. You know, it's a World Series. Pitch. Be better than the hitter. And when you intentionally walk them 4 times, to me that's just like, we give up, you know. Canadians, you know, I love them, but that's pretty bad. Oh yeah. I don't think I'll get this whole load in here. There's some bigger logs here. A couple of these I may use for saw logs, put on the sawmill, but I've gone over that many times. For me, way more money in firewood. We have some red pine that's been sitting around for a while. It's beautiful stuff. I got like 1,400 feet of it, and Levi put it on Facebook Marketplace. we asked like $1.50 a board foot, which I know I wouldn't get, and it was on there for weeks, months. Some guy yesterday offered $1 a board foot for it. Like, there's literally no money in it at all. Unless you have a use for it, you know, like we do here. We're gonna side that entire building with it. Then you're kind of doing something. And I know, like, production mills and stuff, they still make money on softwoods, but you got to do huge volumes. You would literally starve to death around here, because we have a lot of Amish mills too that are all, you know, $1.50 at the most per board foot, and it's just not worth doing. Back when COVID hit, everybody bought a sawmill. That's what happened to the live edge slab market. Everyone thought they were going to get rich selling live edge slabs. Who would have thought? Better off burning the stuff than selling it for furniture or cabinetry or things like that. I know some guys can do it, but overall, generally speaking, this load here is a little wonky. Generally speaking, firewood's where it's at. I gotta get a look here. See what that other side looks like. I think I can put another 1 or 2 on there. Yeah, there's at least, there's probably 2 more loads out here. There's some bigger ones over there. They're gonna be saw logs for sure, but maybe. But once I'm done with this one, I need to run down to my mom's for a bit. I don't know if I'll fire up the processor tonight, this afternoon, or tomorrow. But I'll leave the dump truck out here for now, because I do need to make some room down there before I take any more down there. Man, this truck. Did I mention the turning radius on this truck? It's amazing. This last one here, it's a little toothpick. Another 40 pounds, nothing. All right. That's a nice jag of wood right there, I'm telling you what. The rut is in full swing, by the way. I have seen 2 buck chasing doe earlier today while I'm running the machine. They couldn't care less. Alright, but anyway, I'm going to take the excavator back to the Woodyard, run down to my mom's. I have to sneeze. I just totaled my 500i. I started to back over it with the tracks on the excavator. I could tell I was hitting something. Oh man, it's cooked. That's not good. I've had this saw since about the time they came out, about 5 years, I think. Yeah, it's this was broken up here. This is all bent. The whole thing is just twisted. And you can see here, this is all out of whack. Yeah, I think it's going to be toast, I'm afraid to say. that was unfortunate. It was. I looked at it again. I can't believe it runs, but I don't know. Even when it's sitting there, everything's just, it's in bad shape. It is. But, you know, it takes things like that once in a while to remind me to be more careful. You know, could have been worse. Could have been the dump truck, right? Wasn't the dump truck. It was the chainsaw, probably 5 years old. Like I said, I'll take it. They're going to scratch their head when I take that thing to the dealer, but I'll take it to the dealer, see what they say, but I'm pretty sure it's trashed. I'll break out the 400. I have one of those. That's a nice saw. Not as fast as the 500i, but it's a good saw. And quite honestly, that's what I should be using for stuff like this. There's nothing real big. So we'll figure that out. I'll keep you updated. But I was talking about the World Series and that Ohtani. I swear someday we're going to find out he's like a robot or something, because he's unbelievable. Really is. Maybe they should just keep intentionally walking him. I don't know. But I think that's about it for today's video. Before I wrap this up, a couple things. If you're a subscriber to our channel, make sure you hit that little bell icon to get notifications when we upload. If you are not a subscriber and you enjoy this type of content, please consider subscribing. I think that's about it. Got some good stuff coming up, so we do. Building, got a few other things up my sleeve. We'll catch you on the next one.